from Detroit, Michigan, USA. In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played. This week on the In My House Techno Music Show, first and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to Ron Ford and the article in Metro Times about the Detroit culture, the Detroit dance scene, the Detroit JIT scene. So I'm going to pull out into the archives Ron Ford's interview and a few other folks that's been on the show that represent the JIT community. So this show is in honor of the JIT community, keeping it going, keeping it moving, and keeping those feet moving the way that you do after all these years. It's just great to see you guys are still getting recognized and people still love and appreciate Detroit culture, the dance, the form, the style never goes away. So I want to do my part too. So let me bring back some folks who talked about their days and what this dance culture means to them. So this is T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show. Enjoy this week's show. All right, now you just got to talk up a little bit so we can hear you, and we all good. So let everybody know who you are and where you from, who you with, so where you from, who you with.
Legendary Jitter, east side of Detroit. Dance with a group called the X-Men.
Nice. Right here.
All right, then. I go by Marrty Max, or name Lamar. I dance with World Threat, and I'm from the west side. But it ain't about the side. It's all about Detroit.
Name is Haleem Rasul, also go by Stringz, representing hardcore Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Jitter boy.
Right. So let's get into JIT, Detroit, and I'm actually going to go way over here to Stringz for a moment because Stringz has been on the show before, and he brought the legendary Jitters, the original Jitterbugs, on the show back then and produced a documentary film that did very well. And you recently have done some very extensive world traveling through the culture. You were in South Africa. Talk a little bit about how that came about and what that experience was like.
Okay, yeah, I went to Zimbabwe in Africa not too long ago. How that came about is just me putting in work in the community, spreading JIT, and people starting to notice. So we have a Zimbabwe Cultural Center in Detroit here, and the guy who founded that organization, his name is Cheeto. When he heard of JIT, he was like, man, we got something similar to that in Zimbabwe, but it's called the JIT. So, you know, there was a guy named Franco Slomo, real dope dancer in Zimbabwe. We started off there. We did like a collaboration, but online only, so a digital collaboration where he would dance, I would dance. It was edited. From that piece, basically, he shopped it. There was interest. We got grants, funding for it, and that's how I was able to make that trip to Zimbabwe.
That was awesome. I was watching that on Facebook. I said, Stringz is in Zimbabwe, he's in Africa? Yeah. Wow, and then I love the footage. Y'all, it was like that. You know, dance is always like what we call the call and response. You call it out, somebody responds back. You call it out, you respond back. And there was a lot of that going on. Yeah. And the language, now was there any language differences? Do you have a translator? Aren't they mostly French?
No, British.
Oh.
Yeah. So they were colonized by the Brits, but they speak their traditional language called Shona. They actually speak many languages though, but they speak English as well. Their English is better than our English over here.
Okay.
Because they got that British accent to it.
Okay.
So it was cool. It was easy to get around and to speak with people because they can speak English. You can use the American dollar, you can use the euro, you can use the shauna. So it was cool in that aspect.
Okay. So let's talk about the JIT community and the importance, how the JIT community relates to each one of you individually, and the importance of the community, the definition of JIT community. Like, people just see it. They see it on Facebook. They see JIT community, JIT community, JIT community. But they don't really know what goes into, quote, 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 JIT community. Whoever wants to start. Come on, Marty Max.
Right,
you're my son. You're supposed to speak up first.
Oh, okay. Well,
When it
comes to the JIT community, I guess it's just everybody that does it, that loves it. It's just you have passion for it. We have a lot of guys that have passion. That's why the JIT community can get because everybody feels they got the best. But that's with any form of anything. We talk, like I was telling them before, like rap, skateboarding, anything. You're competitive. Everything's very competitive. Like we got like I said in my intro, I was saying about East-West thing. It ain't about that. It's Detroit, but we have a lot of that going on with the East-West because people feel like we started on this West side. They feel like they got. So it's a lot of clashing in the community. But at the same time, we do have a lot of good things in the community, like just things with Stringz. We pay attention to that. He's doing his thing. Los is doing his thing with his video clips. We like to share each other's clips. We might not bump heads, but at the same time it's respect because we do it. We know what it takes when it comes to JIT. With the hard work put in, them basements. Everybody know what it is. Like I was telling them, like we're leaving the club at 2 in the morning, still going like back home practicing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm sore one day, but still, if my legs hurt, I'm gonna work on my arm work. That's just how it is when it comes to JIT. So we all feel we have that passion in the community. So that's why it's a lot of clashing sometimes. But there's nothing wrong with that because it
makes you better.
Makes you better, exactly.
It's like the sport.
Yeah, it's like a sport. It's a sport. We all artists.
Right.
We battle. We might help. Like we may help another guy out. If I see somebody like Los, when he came around. I'm like, that dumb boy gonna do it, you know what I'm saying? He had that passion. He came in bright-eyed, and I'm like...
So let's talk about that. That takes me to another conversation piece. Mm-hmm. You guys... Now, Lamar, you've been JIT for how long?
2001, 2000, taking it seriously. I was young, really doing it because I knew that show. I loved it, and like I said, I raised in the music scene, so I always loved the music first. So that gave me my musicality because I like the music, I love the beats, I love it. So it was like, once I saw a new dance show, I'm like, what are them guys doing? And then it made me really want to find interest in it. I didn't know what it was because growing up on where I grew up on the West Side, it wasn't really too many jitters. I seen one jitter on my block, and it's Big Greg on Virginia Park, 12th Street, 14th, over there in that area, and so I was like, wow, I didn't really know what it was.
I forgot he
was the JIT. He was a block party. He had a block party. And he was bugging. I'm like, whoa, you know how to do it. That's what he doing on the dance show. But what really got me into it was when I got to high school. I started going to high school parties. And then once I got to the River Rock, and that's when, that's when,
Is that a buzzword?
And then that's when I started seeing guys really doing it.
Waiting for my time.
And that made me want to do it even more. It's like when you come up like that.
For me doing this show, I'm learning a lot of underground cultures that exist in Detroit, and they're generational. Like life is generational. Yeah. So out of you guys here, apparently you're like another generation then, and you're a generation, and he's a generation, right? Yeah. So do you guys, generationally speaking, the oldest cat on the block here, just today, because I've been to that, I was at the Jitterbug party, and I seen some old cats get down.
We got some old cats that still got it.
They was...
Shout out to the older cats, man.
They was like ticking, popping, and rerunning, and dropping it. They were like 75 years old. I was like,
you got some guys.
But generationally speaking, like, we talk about, I mentioned this inadvertently talking about a sport, right? So when you guys are out clubbing, are you like the recruiter? You know how the guys, the coach go to the basketball game and they checking people out. Do y'all recruit like that? Do you scope out people like that? Like, I think I could do something with this cat right here.
It's been done.
No. Let the senior speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, it's like that with everything. You know what I'm saying? There's always interest in seeing, you know, the youth and, you know, up and coming talent. You know, me being a bit doing this as a business, you know, doing shows, you know, servicing the community. Yeah, I always look like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and there's other stuff that go along with that. You know what I'm saying? Are people business minded? You know, people got their stuff together as well. But as far as the OGs go, because I'm definitely not an OG, but that's what inspired me in my direction, because when I saw OGs, I was like, man, compared to like, you know, my peers, like, man, I like the JIT, but that shuffle my man doing, you know, and that kind of inspired me to like start tracking down and tracing the roots. And you know, I did my documentary.
Yes.
I'll just plug it real quick.
Please do. And we can plug it some more.
You know, Pioneers of the JIT. You can get this on DetroitJitterbugs.com. And basically, it's their story and how they came about. These cats, man, I'm still trying to perfect the shuffle that they had. But, yeah.
So, Los, what inspired you to do this? Now, is this something that, I mean, how'd you get involved, and what inspired you to do this, be part of this culture as well?
Well, first I was really into roller skating. There was a skate rink in my neighborhood on East Warren called Royal Skate Land. And, you know, I was there almost every day, just skating around. And that's why I first came in contact with JIT. It was first gang affiliated, so a lot of the gangs that was at Skate Land was JIT. And it interests me, but I couldn't really find nobody to teach me how to do it. You know, I really wanted to know how to do it real bad. So my uncle, he started teaching me how to JIT.
Okay.
And I took it from there.
Your uncle known?
Yeah, his name was Scooter. He danced with the Dream Team.
Okay, I was just like...
He'll let you know.
Okay. So the world watches, and they know we do it, or they think they know. What is it that you really want them to understand? Because there's a lot of misconceptions, and I'm sure, Stringz, by you traveling a little bit more, you've heard some of the misconceptions. So I would like to dispel some of the myths. Like, what are some of the things that you thought about or heard about, and then once you got involved, like, man, ain't nothing like that. Anything that you might have been told, hey, you gotta. I'm just trying to understand the culture of it. Like somebody that's interested or think they can dance, or I mean, what's the myth busting?
One misconception that we nipped in the bud early was the fact that since people used to relate jitting to the jitterbug dance of the 1920s and 30s, the swing dance, and that was a misconception. Through my research, we found that there was a group called the Jitterbugs. In this documentary, it shows their story. But to be a jitterbug back in the day in Detroit was to be a gangster. That's what it meant, like young jitterbug. It's like calling somebody a thug back in that time. Yeah. And that's actually how the name stuck with them, because they were them street cats, hanging on the corner under the street lights doing this dance, and that name just kind of like is stuck with them. So that's a huge conception that we found.
Yeah. To add on to that, misconception that I believe is like, everybody thought it was like a group, like a swing dance thing, and people always think we just dance so fast. Like, it's different tempos and styles. That's a lot of people are like, oh, they just think they gotta go kick their feet too. That's you got arms, you got the groundwork, the arm work, footwork, all it all ties into one. So a lot of people they be thinking it's just to move your feet real fast, type of thing. That's like a misconception of it too. You got, it's actually a lot more to it.
Okay.
3.
All right, so we're gonna move the table, we're gonna move the chairs, and we're gonna create some demonstration looks here. And This is T. Carlita. We'll be right back. Do this quick commercial, and these guys are just going to show you a little bit of what the JIT is really all about.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri, encouraging all taxpayers to please take advantage of the several payment options available.
You can pay online by visiting the Wayne County Treasurer's Office website. Paying online is easy and convenient.
You can also download the mobile app and pay with your smartphone.
You can pay at one of 70 kiosks located throughout Wayne County.
And yes, you can always still send in your payments using the U.S. Postal Service.
If you have to visit our office in person, you must make an appointment by going to treasurer.waynecounty.com. It only takes a few minutes. Facial covering or mask is required and social distancing is observed. Your health and safety is very important to us. You can also email our office at taxinfo@waynecounty.com or call us at 313-224-5990.
In My House Radio, online 24/7. Featuring only the best techno and house music. And be sure to tune in for Sunday Inspiration, every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get connected, www.inmyhouse65.com.
All right, this is T. Carlita. No, I'm not about to take any lessons because my JIT days are over. No, just kidding. Anyway, enough of my talk, enough of my mouth. These guys are going to show a little bit of something, but before we give you the demonstration, let's come in the circle, brothers. Come a little closer. Something that we need to talk about. When you go to the club, you see 3 unscripted, automatic dance styles. You see the hustling ballroom to every single song. You see the person on the sideline that don't know the hustle, but they still want to dance, and they waiting on their song. That's my song. Okay, I can go do that, because it's a cha-cha style. Who don't know how to do that? So with JIT, even though it's a group, individual, as we talked about earlier, what is it about the formation, the circle? Why is that? It's like automatic. It's like the line dancer. It's like, yep, I can get in there. But then, what is that all about? Who wants to speak?
I mean, okay, I guess I'll take it. I mean, it's just natural. It happens with other urban styles. It's just organic formation of people, especially with jitting, because they looking at the feet a lot. That's what draws them. So it's like it kind of hypnotizes you. You know, you come in, but then it's messed up because then after a while nobody can see. So it's good to have platforms like this so people can actually see. But in the clubs and the D, man, it's like, you be like this. Back up, right? Exactly.
That's why I said I'm gonna develop a JIT. What I said earlier called I'm gonna do the Earl Flynn kick, get your ass out of my way move. Do that Bruce Leroy hook up. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let me not embarrass myself on international TV, my own show. I can do that. Anyway, so Matt, we got some music. I'm gonna get over here behind the camera because I want to make sure that I capture these moves properly. Y'all ready to get on? I do what I do when I do it. All right, let's get it.
Discipline, very much so. That starts it off right there. Discipline. Yeah.
Discipline. You got it right. I would say as far as, terminology, kicks and wiggles, has a lot to do with this dance form. And then you have your shuffles, and then things kind of just go from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely.
So the hustles have names. So are there names,
Yes.
or is it just JIT?
Names.
I know the Bisco.
Bisco, yeah.
I know that one. That's the only one I know.
Arm work, you got your arm work. Like you say, you got your wiggle, the wiggle back. And you said the kids, that's like the little, then you got your little shuffles, your little, that's pretty, everything has got names. And then people got their own names for certain moves too. You got power moves and clinches, drops. We got flares too. We have flares and then we like breakdancing. We got flares in there.
I know. I've seen you break.
You got flagging, and like when you're doing a lot of flagging, that's the part of arm work. So you got that in there.
Okay.
So there's a couple other moves. We got the freak dancing, girl dancing stuff, the male dance stuff is in there.
Was that?
Yeah, you do that's the snake thing. Look,
Oh, that's that old.
Yeah.
I know how to do that one. That's about it.
Yeah, you got a couple. Yeah, you got names for moves. Yeah,
all right. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming and just talking a little bit. It's just an hour show. I wish we had more time because I know y'all could just get it in longer.
We'll do a part two.
You are in my house, hosted by T. Carlito, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri, encouraging all taxpayers to please take advantage of the several payment options available. If you have to visit our office in person, you must make an appointment by going to treasurer.waynecounty.com. It only takes a few minutes. Facial covering or mask is required and social distancing is observed. You can also email our office at taxinfo@waynecounty.com or call us at 313-224-5990.
In My House Radio, online 24/7. Featuring only the best techno and house music. And be sure to tune in for Sunday Inspiration, every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get connected, www.inmyhouse65.com.
All of those got international recognition, but the JIT didn't, right?
They were family, and they shared the style. That's what the jitterbugs had. They had style.
These are the baddest dancers you ever want to see in your life. The baddest dancers. Okay? They are bad.
Everything that we did, we originated. We used to go to vacant houses, right? Jump from roof to roof. This is the kind of entertainment we did while they was dancing.
At that time, it wasn't good to steal our steps.
The jitterbug was associated with crime. And I ain't ashamed to say it, man, you know, we were criminals in that respect.
Some security guards, and as soon as they touched my brother, bam! I mean, that was jail. He was reckless like that.
All right. We got Stringz, Johnny McGhee in the building. All right. So how did you find where'd you find the original Jitterbugs? Where'd you find them?
First, it was just asking questions, man. I asked everybody, you know, I was in the scene, like, yo, who was the founders, you know, this, and that. And their name, Jitterbugs, kept coming up. But when I thought of Jitterbugs, I just thought about, like, Jitterbugs, you know, like, I just thought of this, like, this real clean, wholesome group, you know what I'm saying? And so I just kept asking questions, but nobody could really produce any, like, pictures or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? And so it's not until I asked so much that these guys got wind to it. Actually, I thought they were, like, dead or something, you know what I'm saying? So, well, so they actually got at me because I was asked so much. I guess the word just got out. But I let them, you know. So he
ain't dead.
No.
The brother over there ain't dead. He look really alive over there.
Right.
Why don't you introduce him to this audience real quick? Who is that brother sitting over there?
Special guest right here. This is the youngest brother of the Jitterbugs, Johnny McGhee. You know what I'm saying? He's I'll let you.
Well, it's funny because Sundiata called us, and he said he reached out to a mutual friend.
Okay.
He said, man, this is this guy. He's going around. He's going to make a documentary about the JIT. And I told him, hey, look, he can't do it until he meets y'all. So I took his number, and I went to my brothers, and I said, hey, man, this guy, blah, blah, blah. Do you know it still took us another 3 months before we called Haleem?
What?
That long. Finally, we called him. We met, and I said to him, I said, hey, so you JIT too, huh? He said, yeah. I said, let me see what you got. And he started taking quarters and phones out his pocket. But ever since then,
y'all didn't take phones out y'all's pocket back in the day.
Well, when we met in 2010,
okay,
we took phones and cell phones.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me now, Jitterbug in the clip there, you know, it's synonymous with thugs and things like that. and you all had openly admitted that you were thugs back in the day.
Yes.
So tell me, how in the world did you put thuggism to jitting? Where'd that part, how'd y'all put those two together?
I guess it's like after breaking in a store, and we would split up the loot under a street light, and after everybody had with it, and then, hey man, watch this, do this, and then, so pretty much how it started.
Okay.
With my brother being the founder, James. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, what is your take on this documentary? What is your feeling about it?
It's beautiful. My feeling is great. You know why? Because now this is the opportunity to give the younger generations the origin. And I thought, wow, are we going to not be able to share this? And this is the opportunity that we can enlighten those who were born in 1990 and before, and you know, later, or in the mid 80s.
As far as foundation, you know, definitely this is pre-techno. I would definitely, they break it all down in the movie. I'm talking about names of steps and everything.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you next. Yeah. So I know you sitting down, and you know, is there a way that you could like just give us a little shoe demonstration from your seat on what we can expect to see from, you know, give us a little, you know, you got your shoes on, you sharp, you know?
He gonna show you something, but I just wanted to say that, you know, definitely like how the JIT is now, you know what I'm saying? It's you can see a direct link. But of course, there's other steps that's been brought in, you know, other influences. You know what I'm saying? So it's but the original shuffle,
right?
The original shuffle. Show him real quick.
Give him a second. Let him get this camera right, because we don't want them to miss this. There we go.
Was kind of complicated. Yeah, and it was walking. And as you see, I'm moving and I'm walking. Today, they're standing still and walking. And of course, that was one phase of the network of steps, and that was called the walk. And then the jazz it was a standstill and the strike. So to connect the walk, the jazz it, and the strike was building the network of them, of the steps. And I do see some of the same. The footwork is not the same, but it is the same.
Okay.
And it's faster. And how it has to be that way, because when they would watch us perform, they didn't have a lot of video and cell phones where you could show it and look back at it and say, so they had to take it home to themselves and say, I think he did this. So over the evolution of time, it was never exact, but it was very close.
You are in my house, hosted by T. Carlito, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
I just want to go home and go to bed.
Welcome to the Ritz, the only place you can come and be energized 100%.
Has someone new made it in yet? Actually, she's going to the stage as we speak.
They look so lifelike. Do they play music?
Put $1 in the bucket and see.
Is unstoppable. One is unstoppable. Matt is unstoppable. Mike is unstoppable. Ron is unstoppable. We are unstoppable. One is unstoppable. Matt is unstoppable. Mike is unstoppable. Ron is unstoppable. We are unstoppable.
They look so lifelike. Do they play music?
Put $1 in the bucket and see.
I suddenly feel like I can do anything.
This place doesn't give you anything that you don't already have within.
You know what? I feel unstoppable.
Sometimes people just need to be reminded, and that's where I come in.
What we just watched a full production of yours.
Yes,
Tell me
my
what
first.
that was your first? Tell me the inspiration behind doing that.
Basically, me and my dance group, Unstoppables, have been dancing for 30 years, on and off, within different groups. And I'll say about 5 years ago, I started getting into making music. Because I love the music that we dance to, the Cybertron, the Aux 88, the different techno songs. So it just made sense to me to put it all together in a format where people can see it visually.
Right.
So we came up with the video. Because I also have a film that I wrote, and I thought this would be a good first step to show people what we can do.
Okay.
Dance, produce, write.
Right. So look, this takes us to the next point. Dance. You know, Detroit is known for many, I call it underground industries. You know, we got Hair Wars, which is underground. We got Techno, that's underground. We have various formations of dance that are underground, but most people equate us to JIT. But we do more than JIT.
Oh, definitely.
And I need you to educate them on what more we do.
JIT is Detroit's baby when it comes to dance. And even what we do, which is funketeering, falls under that umbrella of JIT. So we have our b-boys and all types of house dancers, but JIT is the main dance. It is the main dance since the 70s. And funketeering came out about the 80s, the early 80s. So it's a true statement, and there's a reason for it, but there is more. There are other dances in Detroit, but that's the main one, JIT.
Right. And what formation would you say the Unstoppables are known for doing? What do you guys do?
Mastering funketeering.
Okay.
That's what we're known for. I'll say since I've been maybe 17 years old, and I'm 43 now, we took funketeer and evolved it with techno music, because funketeering was done to soul music. Shake Your Pants, Get Off. And we were the younger guys doing the funketeer, but when techno came out, we loved techno music, but you couldn't quite keep up with that speed with all that popping. So it became a little bit more smoother and faster. So that's what we're known for.
You are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
Weighted dance reunion between me and my crew, DJ Fingers, DJ Zap, and the Mad Professor, the official.
Well, Sharik Alexander is a quiet person representing World Threat all day.
Oh, how could I forget Mad Dancers?
That's the Mad Dancers, right?
Did they have the shirts on?
Yeah.
The matching shirts?
Yeah.
Mad Dancers.
Proper way to the JIT community, to Detroit history and culture that is
They had the white shirts with the letter, with the picture of the.
I saw them too.
The guy in the front. That's Mad Dancers.
Okay.
hard work and their time and effort to make this thing
We know who that is. That's Marty Max.
Oh yeah. Real threat.
Detroit JIT Nation.
Right, that's right.
What's up, Marty Max?
It's your boy Marty Max on Facebook. You can show
Going down.
know what it is.
all night.
Yes.
All night. Oh, that's Lamont. World Threat.
Oh, that's Lamont. See, I was upstairs. I didn't even know who it was.
I mean, judging by that
Lamont.
hat,
That
that's
is Lamont. You said judging by the hat, that's his signature?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Lamont. I'm upstairs. I don't know who was who.
Yeah, that's Lamont getting down.
It was a good view from upstairs.
Oh,
man.
yeah, it sure was. It sure was.
Look at that crowd. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the music was so... DJ Fingers was extra special that night, wasn't he? He was throwing down like never before.
Everybody else, but yeah, he was. When I was there, he stood out. I had to leave. We had some issues, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, he
knew just what to play and when to play it.
Yeah, he did. That's Lamar again. Marty Max again.
Oh, okay. World Threat getting it in. I love that song.
Me too.
I love all Cybertron.
Yeah. You know, I love to see when the dancers, when they drop down to the floor like that and keep their rhythm. That is amazing to me.
That's practice there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's such a different style too from what we do, but we try to represent JIT as well as best we can as far as having functions and things.
Right. Well, you got to practice for real.
Yeah, that's not like that.
And the spinning around and things, man. It's
very athletic.
This dude is like flying.
That's some wear and tear too. Serious wear and tear.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's Ronnie from X-Men out there, Ronnie. Turns come out there. No, I think that's Cass.
All my new dance show dancers up in the house tonight. What up, though?
I had a little technical difficulty. Glitch. Yeah, it's all clean up in a second.
I thought the DJ.
He was doing tricks. We'll blame it on the DJ.
Yeah, that's funny.
Them boys were just getting down.
Oh yeah.
He was like, hold on.
Yeah, I love to see Cass dance. He was in the video too.
The famous Bisco.
Oh yeah. Bisco Joe and Doc Mock, Mad Dancers. I remember when I was in high school making them dances up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan Ford, thanks a lot for coming on the show again and calling out them folks as you saw them.
Yeah, trying to make some of them out.
Well, I appreciate you.
Are In My House, hosted by T. Carlito, where the true stories are told and great music is played.